Hey legends, welcome along to a new video. Now I just wanted to share some feelings that I have. Saying as we're just over Halloween now, we're into November, the last 2 months of the year, we're getting into that stage where you start to think about what you're doing with your channels, your content, maybe just even things in real life, and you start to have that little perspective heading towards the new year. And I know it's pretty early for most, but I'm getting into it already, and I wanted to just share some thoughts on why I feel that now is a great time to get started creating content, whether it be here on YouTube or some of the other short form platforms that are jumping up right now. Not to say any names of other platforms, but there's more than one place to be sharing your content these days, and it's a good idea to actually be doing that. So as you know, there's a lot of short form content going up on this channel. They go out on 7 other platforms right now, and that's a good idea to do that. So that's one thing that I was thinking on. But the reason why I want to press into why it's a good time to get started at whatever you want to do in life is because it's a little bit of a contradiction. Right now it's incredibly difficult to get your stuff seen, but it's a good time to get started to try to get yourself seen. And what I mean by that is, that sounds like a bit of a contradiction. If it's so hard to get your stuff seen, why is it a good time to get started? Everything right now on the internet, and the reason why this came up to me was because I was on other platforms watching some short form content of other creators, and they're getting a hard time for the videos that they're creating from other people. The usual that you get online. I used to get it a heck of a lot, but these days I'm very good at dealing with it right now, and normally I can shut a troll down in a few comments, and very rarely does it get to the point these days where I have to hit that old block button on someone. But these other creators getting a hard time, and it just jumped out to me that if you don't know this right now, let me educate you a little bit. Not that I know a great deal, but what I do know is everything online right now is really revolving around the interest graph, I believe it's called. So if someone is not liking your content and they're feeling the need to make videos about you, send vicious comments to you, they're going out of their way to find your stuff to watch it in the first place. And it's definitely it gives you that opening line now where if somebody's giving you a hard time online and you're just like, one of my favourites and my own experiences in the past was a kid that was in at least a 2-year role of giving me a hard time. Then he says the line that I was waiting for him to say for months on end. It's like, just stop what you're doing, nobody cares. And I was just like, well, that's not true. I have at least one hardcore fan. And he's like, what's that mean? I'm like, you're always here to give me a hard time, so I can at least be guaranteed that one view whenever I upload something. And from that, he hasn't tormented me since. But that's just where we're at right now. These people are going out of their way. They don't like the content. For me, I watch videos quite a bit. As a creator, you tend to be making more than you're watching these days. But I do. There's a few channels that I won't miss. But as I'm going through my homepage here on YouTube, I'll come across a few videos here and there that I'll click on to. It's not for me, so I click back out, I go and watch something else, but I don't go to give anybody a hard time. But anything that's been served up to me now is something that YouTube believes I'm interested in seeing. And that's true of everything else. Even your own subscribers. Like, how many people are you subscribed to right now that you haven't seen or you haven't been notified of an upload for a while? The reason for that is because you're not showing interest on that channel anymore. So just because you're subscribed to someone, have your notifications even turned on, if you go for a certain period of time without checking their content out, you're eventually going to be stopped getting it served to you. So what I really want to put out in this video is, if you want to start something, now's a great time to do it, because the only way people are going to find you, and this is the hard part, is getting yourself out there. Once people find you, and they find you interesting enough to keep coming back, you'll start to grow. But if you can't keep that interest, it'll start to slide off. But it gives you a good opportunity to test the waters of the sort of stuff that you want to create online. That's why I've really changed up my content in the last year, is because everything that I've done up to now, getting the channel started, you tend to, at the very beginning, as you'll come across content that you enjoy, you'll see somebody making a bit of a success of something, and you'll think to yourself, okay, I could do that, I could try that. So you do try that, and maybe you do get a little bit of success of it, but are you really that person? Like, inside, are you really that person that's really interested in doing those sorts of videos, or are you just doing it because you see somebody else having a little bit of success at it? So it's something to think about. For me, I would like to, moving forward, help people get through their difficult times and whatnot. So that's why everything in this channel's kind of gone the motivational and inspirational sort of route. If I can help one person a week on this channel, I'd be content enough. But yeah, it is what it is. We are living in the age of the interest graph. If people only see you if they're interested in your content. And for somebody to be getting any hate these days, anybody that's giving you that grief, they're actually going out of their way to find your content to give you a hard time. So you have that to fall back on. Like, if you don't like my stuff, you don't have to watch it. If you don't watch it, you won't get it served to you. That sort of thing. So it's a good time to get started, and simply because you do have that freedom now to test and try new things and not be seen for a little while. So it's going to be interesting going into 2024. It's going to root out a lot of the people that are only in here for... That's what I love in particular about YouTube in the past 2 to 3 years. Like, it's really starting to be the platform for people that are serious about actually creating stuff again. Not these people that were coming in. And that's why to go off on a bit of a rant here before I finish, that's why it is now so difficult to get onto the partner program with YouTube these days, because everybody and their dog were on here making money from other people's content for years. It's got to the stage now where, okay, if you're not willing to put in the work, you're not going to get onto the program, and you're not going to eventually make any of that little bit of revenue money, which is never a lot, really, at the end of the day, whenever you think about it. But it does motivate a lot of people to keep going. But it shouldn't be the be-all and end-all of creating your content. Get something you're genuinely interested in. I love doing the vlog type stuff. Getting out there, getting the camera, going about, seeing parts of Northern Ireland, going to the 2 trips to America that I had. Love doing those videos. But helping people is really what I want to do moving forward. So this year has given me the freedom to actually try that, to see if it actually works. And yeah, it's an interesting time. 2024 is going to be great to be a content creator on here. And moving forward in the next 2 or 3 years, goodness knows what's going to happen. But I'm loving it, I'm enjoying it, and it's just, I'm loving sitting back and watching the people that are coming in from an old school point of view of the internet, where they're trying to scam's a bit of a strong word, but hack the system. You know, people are coming in there with, you know, their hashtags and their search names, and brutally, like, channel names that are blatantly a slightly disguised internet search term for a channel that they've started or something like that there. And it's for people that know the space, know what's going on. You know, you're going to see these people coming from a mile away, so it's going to be interesting to watch those sorts of channels and accounts getting up and going and keeping going, because if you start off in a hack mindset to try and build something online now, you're going to be sorely disappointed, because that's just not the way it works anymore. So get started, work out what you want to do, and enjoy the journey.